Good evening. Welcome to tonight's live cooking show and demo. I'm Donnie Phillips with Time to Cook with Donnie, your Pampered Chef guy, and I'm excited tonight to make buffalo-style chicken wings in the air fryer, and we're going to make homemade blue cheese dressing. Anybody that knows me well at all knows that I love chicken wings. I have loved them for years, and I'll go ahead and, we goof off a little bit here during this time each week, but some of my, aside from them just being really good, I have such fond memories of chicken wings. When long time ago, way back in the 90s, I used to be a flight attendant. And boy, that was fun. It was crazy. And I was young and free and wild. And I would do layovers in Buffalo, New York. And I had a friend that I had known, Todd Warren, who hosted a party a few weeks ago. Hey, Toodle Pops. We knew each other from living in Atlanta, and Todd had moved back home to New York. And he lived in Buffalo. So when I would do my layovers, he would pick me up, and we would go to the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York. That's where chicken wings started. That's where the whole thing started. And man, they were good. So some years later, me and my two best friends, we were the Three Musketeers, Clay and Jeffrey. Every Friday night we would go to Taco Mac in Atlanta for trivia. And Taco Mac has the best wings you have ever had. If you go to Atlanta, go eat there, unless you make these yourself at home. They are incredible. They're better than the Anchor Bar. Sorry, Todd and New York people, but the ones in it at Taco Mac in Atlanta. And if you can't go to the original one in the Virginia Highlands in Atlanta, but we would go every Friday night, and we called it Wang Night. We would go and have a good time and eat a lot of wings and drink a lot of beer. But nonetheless, those Friday nights were so special to me, and my love of wings continued. So I found, you can get copycat recipes, and I found two different recipes online, and I made them, and they are just as good as Taco Mac's. I think so. And everyone that I've ever made these for agree that they are the best buffalo-style chicken wings that they've ever had. Now, we're going to change it up a little bit because these are meant to be deep fried. They're not breaded. I don't care for the breaded style chicken wings. I like they're called naked. And they're meant to be deep fried. We're not going to do that. We're going to do a healthier version, and we're going to do them in the air fryer. And I'm not leading you down the primrose path. I tried these. I didn't do them buffalo style. I just made me some regular chicken wings because the sauce is what makes that. There's a couple of things that we're going to talk about that make these special, but they were good. I made lemon pepper flavored when I did the test recipe, and they were delicious. So I hope that you love them. You can fry them if you want, and if you want the recipe, if you want to know how to fry them and not do them in the air fryer, then I can let you know that too. But tonight we're going to make them healthier and make them in the air fryer, and I promise you they're really good. And like I said, you guys that know me, I am a wing snob, and so is my sister Kendall too, because I turned her on to these soon. She can make some mean wings. I like all the different flavors that she does too, but buffalo hot wings with blue cheese dressing is just still by far my favorite. So we're going to get started on that, but first I wanted to do a plug for hosting a party. If you guys follow my page and you've been watching these cooking shows, which I love all the feedback I've been getting, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. And also too, remember, if you can't catch it live, they're all recorded and they're on my Time to Cook with Donnie page. If you just click on videos, they're all there. Even the impromptu, sometimes breakfast ones that we do, and ones in the middle of the day. But we do these for you guys that are just joining us for the first time. I do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we cook a different recipe using the really cool Pampered Chef tools. They're not like nothing you're going to have here tonight is a Pampered Chef recipe, but of course we're using Pampered Chef tools because that's what pays for this whole enterprise. And how I make my money is partnering with you to host your own virtual online parties for you and your friends. It's super easy. I don't know if you guys saw, but one of my hosts shared a post just today, and we were closing her show last night, and she said she was shocked at how easy it was and how much fun she had hosting the party, and that she was really surprised at how much free kitchen loot that she got with such little effort. All the time I hear, Donnie, I hear your parties are fun. I know you're fun. I bet it would be fun. I just don't have time to do it. I promise you, you have time. To be a super rock star host will take 10 minutes a day. And I do all the work. I set up the private group. It takes place in a Facebook private group. We set it up private so that we're not spammed with weird ads and people hacking the group and getting there and talking about the Lord knows what. But it's a private group I set up. I do like 95% of the work. I put the post and the content out each day. You, as the host, your biggest responsibility is inviting your friends to a block party group, we call it. You're usually paired with about 3 or 4 hosts, and we call it a fun block party. So we all just get together, and then as the content comes out, your duties as a host each day is just to comment and interact with the post and interact with your guest. And that's all. And I'll send you a simple, like 2-minute host task that you do each day. So the whole thing takes less than 10 minutes. And just to give you an idea, like last night the show I closed, and it was an average show for me. I think she had about maybe $750 in sales. That's about an average show. And she got 4 half-price items, anything she wanted out of the catalog, for half off. And she got the host special. In addition to the regular rewards, Pampered Chef does a host special each month. And then she got $280 after the discounts that she could take. She got $280 in just free PC money, what we call it, to get anything that she wants out of the catalog. And I had another host tell me not long ago that this is like the adult version of the Sears Wish Book. I mean, just imagine as a kid, you get to sit down and pick anything that you want out of that. We all used to wait for that Wish Book to show up in the mail. But just a couple more things about hosting, and we'll get going with the recipe so we stay on time. The host special for July, in addition to the regular rewards, and the rewards are based on how well the party sales go, and it goes progressive. If you click on my website on this page, you can click on host a show and it'll show you, but based on the party sales, your rewards go up and up and up. But in addition to that, the host special for July is 60%. When your party hits only $200 in sales, you get to pick any one item from the catalog for 60% off. Then the regular host rewards that you get. Plus, for July, if your party hits $650 in sales, they're going to give you a $100 bonus, Pampered Chef is, to spend on anything you want. Then also, this is on a stop sale. You can't order the air fryer because they have just gone crazy selling them since it came out in March. So they put a stop sale, but it's available for the host. So the only way to get the air fryer now is to host a party. And when your party hits $650 in sales, you get to buy this thing for $111. And it's not just an air fryer. It is an air fryer, a rotisserie, a toaster oven. You can use it to reheat food. And it is a food dehydrator. It does all those things. Did I say rotisserie? Did I leave that out? It's even got a spit that you can put and do your own rotisserie chicken. So that's one of the main reasons people are hosting right now. And then the knife set is very popular, and the quick cooker. Those are the 3 biggies right now that people host parties for, because you can get them at 50 or 60% off. So I hope that you will talk to me about hosting a party. It's super easy, it's super fun, and I would appreciate you supporting me. It's how I make my money, and it's what pays for all this and the cooking shows and all the fun parties. So it is a lot of fun, and I would love to work with you on that. So tonight we're going to make buffalo style chicken wings. I got to leave the shot for just 1 second to grab these, and I went the wrong way, so now I'm going this way. I moved this stuff around on me when I had it set up a different way. So I started to pull the beer out because, you got to have beer. Now that I'm older, I don't always have beer with the chicken wings, but younger, you had to have beer, like definitely. So put in the comments too, like a beer or a Coke is things like you got to have with chicken wings. So in the comments below, like, tell us, like, which are you? Which camp are you in, beer or Coke for chicken wings? So they are, you use the drumettes and then the wing sections, and I will show you this. if you can see it. But this is such an easy dish to do, and it doesn't take a lot of time to do it. But you want it to maximize how good they are. You want to do a couple steps a day ahead. So what I did last night was and I'm going to catch you up to where I am in the recipe. So you rinse the chicken wings off. My favorite's the drumettes. Like, put that in the comment too. Like, are you like a wing section? Or are you like the little drumette? Like, I love the drumettes. Like at Taco Mac, you can order just those for like $2 extra. And but tonight we have a mixture. I think for the 4th of July there was a run on wings, and everybody was making wings. So I went to like 3 stores to find these for you guys. So we have a mix tonight. But I'd love to hear if you're a drumette or a wing in the comments. So what I did is rinse them off, and I let them sit in a colander and let most of the water drain. But then what you do is, and this is I'm going to throw this away. This is the paper towel that was laying on top, and I'll tell you why I did that in just a minute. But I'll walk over and show you so you can see. And this is I did this on the large metal baking sheet. So what I did is I rinsed them off and then let them drip dry in the colander. And then I put 2 layers of paper towels down in the baking pan. And I took another paper towel and pat them dry. And then I flipped them over and pat them dry again. So then you season each side with cayenne pepper and paprika. Now the sauce that we're going to use, the base, is a hot sauce. And, you know, it's got some kick to it. But this right here, it dictates how hot you want. Paprika doesn't. Just gives it some good flavor. And these are wonderful. This does give it a wonderful flavor. But the cayenne pepper, like how much of that you put on when you're prepping them, it determines really how hot your wings are. I know at a lot of places they've got all kind of funny names for it, like what you can mild, medium, and the devil and scorchers, and you know, you see all kind of different words for it. But whatever you put on, and these call for cayenne pepper. So I don't like mine super hot, but I also don't like them not hot. So you sprinkle that on both sides, and then that other 2 layers of paper towel that I had, you lay that on top. And then you put this in the refrigerator overnight and let it sit there. And the reason that you do that is what is going to give that step, letting them sit in overnight in the refrigerator, is what's going to give them the absolute perfect texture. So this is the drip tray for the deep fryer. And then these are the trays that we're going to use. They just slide in. You got different levels. Comes with 3 of these. So what we're going to do first is use our handy dandy chef tongs. Let me set these back down here. Got ahead of myself. We're not mixing yet. So we're going to take them off and put them in this is just a gallon Ziploc bag. Now, here's the thing. If you were going to deep fry them and not air fry them, you want your oil at 375. And you would not put them in this bag like I'm doing. They go straight in the oil at 375, and you fry them for like 12 to 15 minutes, completely submerged. And that would be the difference in what we're doing tonight and the traditional way. So I'll set this right here out of the way. So now we've taken 3 tablespoons of oil. This is a cutting mat. I'm just using this so I don't make a mess on the counter. So you're going to pour about 2 tablespoons of that in there. And then also too, this is baking powder. Make sure I picked up the right one. Yeah, that's salt and sugar. The baking powder you would not do if you're deep frying them. The baking powder is to help it crisp up more in the air fryer. And I've made chicken tenders in there before, and they're really good. But it seems like that stuff with the skin tastes just like you cooked it in a deep fryer. But it's not fried in all the oil. And that was vegetable oil. You want to use like a high temp oil, same as you would fry in, because you want to coat that. And what that does is it seals the outside and then makes the inside stay tender. So now what we're going to do is, where's my basting? Oh, silicone basting brush. You guys see me use this every week. I love these. We're just going to coat these trays. And you may say, why are you doing this? Why are you not just using, we won't call any name brands out, but spray cooking oils are not good for anything. That it builds up a residue, and it can actually make a non-stick skillet become sticky, and it can ruin your non-stick surfaces. And then on the items that's not even supposed to be a non-stick surface, you ever have cooking sheets and you wonder like why and how they start looking so terrible? It's the residue that's built up from your spray cooking oil and all the chemicals and additives that's in there. So we're going to put this one on the top rack. So then we're going to do 2 racks. Y'all can't see him, but Major's standing right there. He comes to supervise sometimes. I'll post his picture for you guys if y'all have never seen him. He's usually like, Major, go lay down. Go lay down. I'll post his picture so y'all can see. He's curious. Maybe I'll put him in a chef hat and have him help me one night. So we're going to arrange the rest of these on the tray. My mouth is watering just thinking about these. Y'all, I love chicken wings. Like, it's the best thing ever. Even just for your regular family dinner. Or, you know, it makes every get-together more special. There's just something about wings. If you guys have a funny wing story, share it in the comments. I would love to hear your take on wings. Let's put that aside. So now we're going to put the second tray in. All right. So we're going to turn the dial to air fry. Then we are going to set the timer for 26 minutes. That's it. So we're going to let that do its thing. And while that's happening, let me wash my hands real quick. So while that's happening, we are going to make our homemade blue cheese dressing. Get my notes here. You guys hear me say every week, like, hey, you need to book more parties so I can have someone to hold up big cards instead of just having my poor little note cards like this. All right, so for our sauce, we are going to, we're going to use the large batter bowl. And you can do this on the stove and not do it in the microwave. But for a couple reasons, I wanted to show you this. Like, a lot of times we like to make wings in our camper. And this, I'm going to tell you, be a lifesaver because the deep fryer heats the camper up. Because this time of the year, it's too hot to do it outside anyway. So we're going to do our sauce in the microwave. Because really, you're not cooking the sauce. You're basically just, you want to melt the butter and then just get the ingredients together is all you're really doing. So the first thing I'm going to put in is 1/4 cup of butter. And then we're going to put that in here. And we're going to microwave it for about 45 seconds at 50% power. That will keep it from popping everywhere and melting too fast. Now this is our prep bowls. You guys hear me talk about these every week. You've got to have these. This is the glass version. This is the silicone version. This is the 1 cup prep bowl. This is the 2 cup prep bowl. And this is the, make sure I get it right, the 3 cup prep bowl. And they all have lids. I love these. I've had these for like 12 years. I use them all the time. You can even bake in these. They're tempered glass, so you can bake. So it's great if you're baking and you're doing prep work and you need all the ingredients out so you can put them in right when you're supposed to. You can use them for that, but you can also make little lava cakes in them. And I told you wrong. We're not doing our sauce. We're not doing the blue cheese yet. We're doing our hot sauce. So the next thing we do is hot sauce, and it's relative to which hot sauce you like. Now I've tried different ones. You know, of course, you guys know I'm from Mississippi, and so down there it's Tabasco and Louisiana hot sauce. But I like Frank's. And I'm going to admit to you, what lured me in was that commercial with that old lady where it says Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I put that beep on everything. That cracked me up. And that's honestly the reason I bought it the first time. I'm not going to lie to you. But I do like it the best. I think it is the best one. So I just put a half a teaspoon of salt and then a half a teaspoon of sugar. And I went ahead and I used... When I measured that out ahead of time, I used our adjustable measuring spoons. You can see they adjust. This is the tablespoon, this is the teaspoon. So the next thing we're going to put in, and this is a public service announcement. How many, okay, if you know how to pronounce this already, put it in the comments, because I hear people, me included, just mutilate this word all the time. But so I always like to throw trivia and tidbits and little side nuggets in for you guys every week. So I looked it up phonetically. This is how you're supposed to say what this is. Worcestershire. Worcestershire is how you say it. The R, 2 of the R's is about silent. The C, the E is silent. All those crazy things. I don't know who came up with that, but there you have it. I researched it, and that's what they said. So we're going to put a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce into the hot sauce. Just rinse that off. Now you know. All right. So we're going to put this back in the microwave. And I am going to cover it with a paper towel just so it doesn't splatter. And we're going to start at 1.5 minutes. So while that's getting going, we are going to start on our dressing. Let me just real quick make sure I didn't leave anything out. Okay. For the blue cheese dressing, we are going to use, we're going to make it in the small batter bowl. That was the large batter bowl. And you'll see why I made it in there too. After our wings are done, we're just going to put the wings in there, put the lid back on it, and shake it up. And then it can just easily go in the fridge and you can store it that way too. So we talked the other night about how cooking is like a science and chemistry, like certain ingredients go in at certain times. And that's true for this dressing. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our blue cheese. Let's see, make sure I got this right. the blue cheese and the buttermilk. So 2 things about these ingredients. I looked this up too. I thought, well, you guys will learn a little bit. You've seen Bleu, B-L-U-E, and you've seen Bleu, B-L-E-U. Honestly, I've always thought, okay, blue, like the color blue, is the white trash version of blue cheese. Like, the blue cheese is like, oh, French and more upscale. Well, blue cheese, B-L-U-E, was actually used nearly a century and a half before it was ever spelled B-L-E-U. In French, it was first in 1787 was the first time that blue cheese was published in a cooking journal, and it was in England, and it was B-L-U-E. In 1941, it was in a French journal, and it was B-L-E-U. So, there's different kinds of blue cheese. In my presentation tonight, we put the bougie, B-A-B-L-E-U, because we're using Roquefort, which is the French blue cheese. Gorgonzola is Italian blue cheese, and Stilton is English blue cheese. Now, I'm a big, huge blue cheese fan. I love it. You either like it or you hate it. Some of you may say, Donnie, that's gross. You need some ranch dressing here. And if you do, that's just fine. I like them with ranch dressing too. But the blue cheese is definitely my favorite. And Stilton blue cheese is by far my favorite. I couldn't find Stilton at the 2 stores that I went to. And but I like Roquefort. I've used this quite a bit. It's good. But Stilton blue cheese can only be Stilton blue cheese if it comes from Stilton, England. But there are other ones. So we're going to take this. This is the mix and chop. So you want this to have the texture of like cottage cheese. And another little word about buttermilk. If you're going to cook with buttermilk and you're going to make buttermilk recipes, take the time to find whole buttermilk. I don't know when it started to be a thing, but it is getting harder to find whole buttermilk. It's all like skim buttermilk. But whole buttermilk is a completely different flavor. Alright, so now we're going to put the rest of our ingredients in. We've got, make sure I tell you, and any of these recipes you want, make a comment and let me know. I know I'm a little behind on recipes. I don't know if you guys know I had to go out of town for a family thing the last few days, so I'm a little behind. So if you asked for the recipe last week and I haven't sent it to you, tonight and tomorrow is when I'm going to get caught up on sending those out. So if you want these recipes, just let me know. Type in the comments, send it to you, or you can send me a message on Time to Cook with Donnie, and I will get you the recipes. But speaking of Mississippi, I had to go to Mississippi for a family thing. Last week, good Lord, I started a mayonnaise debate. You know, since I moved to Tennessee up here, it's Duke's. And Duke's is good, I'm going to tell you. And I had 2 hosts last week that were from Mississippi. Well, down there, it's Blue Plate. So my mom, when I was down there, thought she was going to remind me about how good Blue Plate is. So she made homemade bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches with Blue Plate, of course. And y'all, I got to admit, Blue Plate is good. So I think I've come to this conclusion. Blue Plate is better on a sandwich. Duke's is better for cooking. Let's hear what you have to say about that if you've had both, which I caused a bunch of confusion last week. I had people up here saying like, oh, I've never had Blue Plate, I want to try Blue Plate. And then I had people in Mississippi saying, oh, you know, I've never had Duke's, I want Duke's. Well, you don't get it in the other place. It is relative to where you are. But maybe we'll have a blind when we're able to all get together again. Maybe we'll do a live cooking show, and we'll make some recipes that have mayonnaise, and we'll have a blind taste test. So now that was 3 tablespoons of sour cream, 3 tablespoons of buttermilk in the handy dandy adjustable measure, and then now white wine vinegar. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of white wine vinegar. If you remember, we used it last week too when we made our homemade creamy Italian dressing. And that's still in the fridge. You might have seen, I like to store mine in mason jars. If you do an airtight container, you can store it up to 2 weeks and it'll last in the fridge. And you're not getting all those preservatives that's in the bottle dressing from the store. So this is 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/8 teaspoon of a mix of salt and pepper. Let me check my list to make sure we didn't. Oh, we have to tend to this. When your air fryer beeps, that means it's halfway finished. So what you need to do is change the position of the trays. You just switch the top. Just switch them around so that way they cook even. These little handy dandy things are called the micro grips. They're silicones. You saw I grabbed those hot racks right out of the oven. You can use these on the microwave. You can use them in the oven. They're just little grips. You got to watch. And once we finish this, and we're waiting for that to finish, I'll show you some of the other silicone tools. But let's set this aside real quick. We might need these for the microwave. Let's check on our sauce. Oh, that's not hot. Yeah, we don't need these. One thing that I did, live TV, full disclosure, can't believe I forgot this. We're supposed to put garlic in here. So you saw I just tore this off. If you guys join us every week, then you know the garlic press. But if this is your first time here, I just pulled this clove of garlic right off of that fresh clove and then put it in the garlic press. I didn't peel it, I didn't skin it, I didn't cut it, I didn't do any of those things. Then this little tool cleans off the edge. And I'll like to show this. This has the teeth. This is where it pushed out, where you minced it. And you just push it back in. And then just dig it out. And you never get garlic on your hands. So, and this one right here, you probably saw it's a little tattered. This thing is like 12 years old and goes in my dishwasher all the time. So we're going to use this. This is the new mini whisk. This thing is just a handy little tool. So we'll give that a little stir. And we are going to put this back in for, let's go 2 minutes this time. Because like I said, you're not cooking it. All you're doing is you're just melting the stuff and putting it together. So while that's finishing, we're going to take the whisk and finish up. So let's push our blue cheese through. Get all that good stuff. Did I ask you already? I don't remember. Put in the comments if you're a ranch or a blue cheese dipper for your hot wing dipping sauce, or if you like something else. I would imagine if you don't like hot wings, you're not watching this. But here's the thing: if you don't, then don't make that sauce. Like, you could flavor them any way you want to. Pampered Chef has tons and tons of seasonings in our pantry collection: lemon pepper, garlic and herb, rosemary and herb, There's tons of them. And so you don't have to do buffalo style wings. You'll see, other than, you know, ahead of time I did put the paprika and the cayenne pepper on those. Gosh, I just want to eat this now, but would that be rude? Like, I'm not sure if all those other cooking shows, if they, you know, start tasting it and eat it right in front of you. So that's our dressing. That's it. Now, like I said, what you could keep this in the fridge, but what's cute is just some little like ball jars or mason jars. Just pour this in an air and screw it tight, and it'll keep in the fridge for 2 weeks. Now, just like we talked about, to make these the best that they can be, you do that dry and let them sit in the fridge overnight. This, just like every dressing ever that you make, is going to be better if you make it ahead of time. See how that lid just goes right on there? So we're going to set that aside. Alright, so the sauce is good and hot. Wash my hands again. Really just a rinse. So we've got just a few minutes. Oh, we're doing good on time. We're early tonight. So let's put this away. Still waiting for one of y'all to show up and do the dishes. The mitts that we talked about. The little grippers. These are wonderful. I love these. If you're not going to pull out anything too heavy out of the microwave or the oven, I use it on the deep covered baker all the time. You guys watch, you know I love to cook in this thing. You can use this in the microwave or the oven, and it's part of the glazed stoneware collection, but you could just pull that right out of the oven or right out of the microwave, just like that. These are the bigger ones. You see a shape different on both sides. Your thumb goes in here. These are great for like baking sheets. They're not that great if it's rounded, but like a baking sheet or a tray, these are wonderful. And they just store like this. What I love about and honestly, when I first heard about the silicone, I thought, I'm old school. I like the cloth mitts. I'm sold on the silicone. They're wonderful because you can keep them clean. Like, think about how nasty pot holders and oven mitts are. These just wash clean, but these are phenomenal. They're very pliable. And what I love about the silicone versus cloth, you can hold on to whatever you've picked up for a long time. Have you ever used a cloth set and you go to pick it up out of the oven and it's burning your hands before you can set it on top of the stove and you're screaming hot, 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 or maybe some 4-letter words? Well, with that, you don't have to worry about it because you can hang on to it for as long as you want. This is what I've been working on. This is one of our flexible cutting mats. They're incredible for prep work, but I'm going to move this because we had raw chicken on it, and we're going to play with some of the other tools, and I'm going to pull out the regular cutting board now. And we're going to use this twice. This is relatively new. This is called the close and cut. And these are grape tomatoes. And say you have a recipe that you know you want them halved, or you're doing a salad and you want them halved, you just put them on here. And it's just like it says. Now we're going to use the chef knife. You just press it close. And see, in an instant, this is the, like we talked about the glass prep bowls, these are the silicone prep bowls. So I'm going to take my tomatoes that I just cut and I'm going to put them in this prep bowl. But see that? It cut every one of them in half. That saves a tremendous amount of time. Everyone, see how nice that is? So these are ready. Like, I love to do egg scrambles in the morning. Like, I will put egg. I love in the ceramic egg cooker. One of my favorites is tomato, ham, and cheese, and do it in the ceramic egg cooker in the microwave. It's absolutely wonderful. So we're going to set this aside. I'm going to show you something that this is not only going to save you time, but it's going to save you some money too. But while we're letting our chicken cook the rest of the way, this is another one of my favorite things, is if you buy solid mushrooms, then they're going to stay fresher longer and they're cheaper. Here's a little trick too. If you were with us 3 or 4 weeks ago, you saw you don't wash a mushroom unless you're going to put it in a soup or a salad. Otherwise, you just use a damp cloth or a damp paper towel or a pastry brush and wipe them off. And I've already done that. We cook with mushrooms so much, but have you ever tried to just take the time and slice all your mushrooms? It takes forever. But this right here is called the quick slice. So you put it on the base and you just give it a little rocking motion. And then we're gonna, and see, all those mushrooms are sliced that quickly. And then they're just gonna go in here. This is part of our dinner for tomorrow night. I thought about doing that recipe. It's a it's like a sauteed. You cut your chicken up in chunks and you saute it with mushrooms, and then you make a gravy and eat it over rice. Maybe we'll do that one night soon. But that's the quick slice. This is phenomenal for strawberries. If you're an avocado person, eggs, it makes perfect slices. What you can do too, like if you wanted these smaller pieces, because Jimmy likes his smaller, he doesn't like big chunks of mushroom, you can throw them on there again and slice them again the other way. So it's just a wonderful way. Now this isn't good for something really hard and solid like a potato or a really hard onion, but for softer things like mushrooms and strawberries and honeydew, those types of things are easy. You can easily slice those. Now this is one of my favorites too. We're going to have a dueling product. And this is all stuff that I am really going to eat. We're going to do this, and this is a different egg scramble that I like. This is a red bell pepper. This is called the scoop loop. You see how it just, on your peppers, people make the mistake of not getting all of that middle stem out. My favorite is the red peppers. You know, we've talked about this before on here, is there's one pepper, and it depends on how long you leave it on the plant of how ripe that it gets. But, so the red ones are the ripest, so they're the sweetest. And let's go ahead and use this too. I don't want to waste any of this. Because like I said, I really eat this stuff. This is, you know, what we, I should have done the scoop loop before and get that. But so, I'm going to show you two things. And, you know, it just depends on preference, which one you like better. But I've always loved our food chopper. This right here. And I'll just show you. You just put it on there. And you just move it around if you have a bunch of stuff. And what I love most about it too is, and this one is old. I've had this thing for at least 10 years. It comes completely apart. It's like a little R2-D2 robot. And you just throw this right in the dishwasher. And it's that simple. But this is quickly becoming extremely popular. This is the manual food processor. You know, it looks just like a little food processor. So let's put this. That's a little big. That was a pretty big red pepper. So we're going to put this in the manual food processor. And then we are also going to take the chef's knife and cut just a little bit of yellow onion. See, our chicken wings are already done. See how easy and fast that is? That's what I love about the Pampered Chef tools, that's what we call one of the power tools that you can use. You just leave it. Now, if you were frying these, we would have had to fry these in probably 3 batches at least in the deep fryer, unless you got a huge skillet with a complete container of oil, and you would have had to sit over them. And with these, you didn't. We just put them in there, other than, halfway through on some of the recipes. If you're doing multiple trays, you do want to switch those. And boy, I'm going to tell you what, I love these knives. If you've never used a Pampered Chef knife, then you are missing out. They are professional grade, and if you read online a lot of the comparisons to some of the other brands that that get most of the credit, they're incredible. And when you host a party, you can get those, I can just about guarantee you, for 50% off or either free when you host a show, just like the air fryer and just like the quick cooker, which if you watch some of the other videos, you would have seen me use the quick cooker. So I put the lid on the manual food processor, and the little handle pops up. See, that's already done. Now, it depends on how chunky you want it. You see, that was like just a few seconds, and got pepper and onions all chopped up. Now, this is another one of my favorite egg scrambles. I'll take this and the mushrooms, saute it for just about 3 or 4 minutes, and then put it inside my egg scramble. And boy, it's good. So what I do is, and FYI, if you buy one of these, this part cannot go in the dishwasher. You just rinse the bottom off. There's nothing to clean on the top other than maybe to wipe it off. But this cannot be submerged in water, and it doesn't go in the dishwasher. You just rinse the bottom off. Now, the blade and the base can go in the dishwasher, and then it comes with this lid. So see how I chopped that up? Now, this will just go in the fridge, and I'll use it for a few days and just pull out what I need when I want to make my egg scramble, or if I'm making a stir fry or some other dish that I use. So, one more thing I want to show you. I know we're going to go into overtime. Just a couple minutes. This is worth it to see the rest of the wings. So I'm going to use my little grippers. See how pretty those are? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. See how long I held that hot rack, and it never even felt warm. That's the great thing about the silicone. And you use it for baking, you use it for cooking. There's silicone pans, the cookie molds, all that's made out of silicone, so it's meant to take the heat. So here's the thing too, like we probably should have just see this, give this a little, and you want to make sure the lid's on good. And then your wing sauce, your wings are dipped in the sauce. It's that simple. So that's the wings. They're done. It's that easy. I want to show you one more thing before we go tonight. This is going to save you money. Have y'all noticed that, remember we used the close and cut on the tomatoes. Have you noticed how big, huge chicken breasts are getting? I mean, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, look how big that, I mean, it's huge. So you put this in the close and cut, press it down, and go right through it. So you've done a fillet. We could actually cut this one again. So like, you ever make dinner? See, those are the perfect size now. trying not to touch the chicken. But this will be part of our dinner tomorrow night. The mushrooms. I think I'm just going to end up having to touch it and just wash my hands, right? So we'll go ahead and do this one while we've... Oh, that's the big one. Actually, you know what? I thought the other one was the big one. They're huge. I mean, no one ever eats the whole thing that big. So you just put it in, press, and then there you go. Like this one could actually be split in half. The other way is so big. But this is, one, it's safe, because when you're working with a real knife, you want it to be sharp. So this is a very safe and effective way to do it even. Because if you've ever tried, you hit the fork, you're bumping into things, and you don't get a good even cut. So with that, you do. So that's the close and cut. If you're in one of the parties this week, then order off that host link. But I've gotten a few messages over the last few weeks of people wanting to order. So what I'm going to start doing is putting an order link in the comments here and on my Time to Cook page. So if you have seen anything here that you like, you can place an order, and we're running it as a party, because if you order through a party, the shipping's a whole lot cheaper. And then plus, every month Pampered Chef offers, just like they reward the host, they reward the guest too. If you spend $80, you get a free gift. And this month, it's super cool. You get the coated tomato knife, or they have these Disney Pixar sets. It's like Disney characters that you can make pancakes or cookies, and it's got the spatulas and the stir spoons. You get to pick one of those three things as a free gift with every $80 order. And then if you order on a party, the shipping is better than if you just place a regular order. So anytime too that you're on my page and you see something that's shared, or you see something that we talk about here, if you want to order it, then just let me know. If you don't see a party link, I'll get you one so you get a better deal on all your shipping. So this is my old school batter bowl. That's the new version. This is the old one. So you see how easy that is? This is what I'm going to have for dinner tomorrow night. So I can just pop that lid on it, pop it in the fridge, and it will stay there. So I hope that you guys have had a wonderful time. I can't wait to eat these chicken wings and dig into our blue cheese dressing. Remember, if you want the recipe, just put a comment below or send me a message, and I'll get caught up on getting the recipes out. If you would like to host a show, contact me. I'm booking now for July the 17th. So I would love to put you in a host spot that week and just spoil you with rewards from Pampered Chef. Because remember, it's so easy to host 10 minutes a day. I promise. Hey, some of you guys, if you're watching and you hosted a show before, if you'd make a comment here so people can see, and if you read the reviews too, like on the Time to Cook, click on reviews, you'll see there's tons of them from past hosts that talk about how easy the process is and how they really rack up. And then it's a really fun thing to do, especially right now, to escape a lot of the ugliness, we'll call it, out there. So I hope that you've had a good time. Join us next week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for a live cooking show. I'm Donnie Phillips with Time to Cook with Donnie, your Pampered Chef guide. You guys have a wonderful evening.